Backing music was used illegally.
That XP with Remarkable, Unremarkable. He made the album to lift himself up and pull him out of the quagmire. Ain't we all, man? Ain't we all, brother?
I went on a stag do to London the other year.
Very special guest, XP from Flame Griller, the West Yorkshire rap crew. He's a top bloke. Buy everything he does.
The WYcast is made possible by people going on the XP homepage, www.exp.uk, and buying my albums on vinyl and CD and getting merch as well. So big thanks to everyone who has, and if you enjoy these podcasts, please consider helping out by going and buying some. Welcome to the WYcast Series 4. Big up if you've been here before. But if you've not, then you've missed a lot, and I've quickly got to get you up to speed for sure. So I'm XP, or people call me Ben, hip-hop musician based in Leeds, who's being more intent to promote the scene full of dope MCs, dope producers, dope people whose hopes and dreams involve being part of hip-hop. Might be the love of their life, they might do it just on the side, or go whole hog and it's a company vibe. We're just looking to push hip-hop in West Yorkshire, WY, so with a GoPro and a couple of mics, a Zoom recorder, some seats and things, I meet them in somewhere scenic, and we begin this episode of the WYcast featuring TjTucker, a local phenomenon who seems to be going from strength to strength. Every time I look back, he's doing bigger and better stuff. It's unbelievable to watch. Sick MC, works with a band as well. Massively well supported, and I feel like will just continue to skyrocket into success. Also alludes to the fact that he wants to build around here as well, which is just, it was amazing to hear. So yeah, this is a really great chat. TjTucker.
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
Yeah, very well. Great to see you, man. Thanks for joining me by Leeds Minster. Beautiful spot in Leeds, had to be. Although I believe you're a Wakey head yourself.
I am, man. Shaky Wakey.
Shaky Wakey,
WF.
yeah, bro. Man, it's you're a name that's only popped up recently in my, and I say recently because I've been rapping for 20 years.
Legend.
But it just in the last few years, and it just seems like your name has risen and risen and risen, and like it's sick, and I love what you're doing, especially with live band and stuff. So it was important that we got you on the show just 100%. To see who you are and what it's all about,
yes,
man.
Yes,
bro. Where did it all start? Were you born and bred in Wakey?
No.
Where are you from originally?
No, originally from Forest Gate, East London.
Right.
Down south, yeah, DWE, all of that.
Wow,
you know,
really?
That's home.
Yeah, that's the heart of it all, yeah?
That is home for me. And then I moved out. I moved out to Essex, and then before there, came up to Leeds for uni.
Oh, so, that was uni up here?
Yeah.
What was the choice in choosing Leeds from like when London was
I needed a change, you know. I didn't really, because I'm so different, you know. I'm very like alternative, you know what I mean. A lot of the time I don't feel I sound like a UK rapper or UK artist or anything.
I agree with that.
You know, I didn't really like fit in the scope in London at that time, so I wanted to kind of go somewhere where I just like was a bit free. Do you know what I mean? I could just go and explore and find out who I was.
So was Leeds a random choice, or did you know ahead of time that it was like going to be the...
I'm going to say something mad here. So young me was very foolish. Okay. I was following my heart, and I had a relationship at the time. And they were going to uni up in Leeds, but I was like, nah, man, forget uni. I'm not on it. But I was like, I could though. But you know what? Yeah, to be fair, all praise to her, because look at
here
it
you
now,
are as a result, man. So when were you born? What's your birth year, brother?
1997.
This 97. Okay, so you're super young as far as I'm concerned.
27, born in 97.
That's dope, man. Right in the heart of hip hop. That 97's like when I was like properly getting into hip hop. I was 12, so that's bad news. So what is were you interested in? Obviously, coming from where you were, like so much music and hip hop going around there. Was that, how did you catch the bug of like hip hop in the first instance?
Man, you know, right at home. It was always at home first. Like my sister, she was a dancer, entertainer, all of that stuff. Wow. You know what I mean? So like she's the one who put me onto like, you know, Ja Rule, Eve, all of that stuff. Dope. You know, very like, you know, American, like, you know, rap, hip hop at first. And then so that was in me. My mom, like I was in the choir, do you know what I mean? So I was already like kind of singing and stuff. Not anymore. Okay. Nah, a little bit auto-tune, but
yeah,
I was doing that. And then man, when I got to like year 8, when I was about like 13, 14, there's this other artist, Kid Sainty. He's one of my longest, you know, he's that's my guy. You know, we literally linked up together and we're just like, yo, man, like, do you want to make music? Do you want to just start doing it?
Yeah.
I was writing at the time. I wasn't really an MC or nothing like that. That was more him.
So when you say you were writing though, was that like little bits of poetry and stuff?
So
okay,
I literally started with poems, like, you know, from young, you know, just doing that, writing little verses here and there.
Sick.
I never thought I'd be on a mic. I started going to this youth club, you know, from school. That's when I started getting on a mic, spitting a little bit. 2016 comes around. Dropped my first song on SoundCloud.
2016 was your first SoundCloud. At age 19, is
yes,
that?
sir.
Yeah.
Right. Quick with it, fam.
Quick maths. Have my breakfast today.
Oh, yeah, man. And then literally, bro, like, it's all, when I got to Leeds, that's when I really started performing. You know, that's when we started, literally, my first one was, you know where Pirate Studios is at Kirkstall?
Yeah.
There was a little event space, I think it's closed now. Because I went to Beckett. Beckett used to use it for like rehearsals.
Right.
Had my first show there, May 3rd. Yeah, 2018.
2018 first show. And what were you put on as was it like a headline show as such, or were you just like jumping in on opportunities or
jumping in opportunities? Do you know what I mean? Just looking to get myself like
sick.
Yeah.
So you just want to go back to the guy writing poetry with his boy? You say it was Sadie?
Sainty, kid Sainty.
Sorry. And you were writing bars and stuff, and you put your first stuff on SoundCloud. Was it like, did he get some appreciation straight off the bat? How were you? Were you just knocking it out to your mates and stuff? What was that?
It was at first just like, to the boys and that, right?
Yeah, of course.
And like, a bit of a mad one, and probably like even to anyone who might even be watching this, who's like starting out doing music, like, bro, like at first, I was getting just not hate, but it was just bad critique.
Really?
Do you know what I mean? At first, do you know what I mean?
From like, you were young, fair dues.
You know what I mean?
But so your boys were like piling it. Nah, not right. This is feeling this.
It was my boys. Do you know what I mean? But like I needed that.
I suppose.
I mean, that was the thing.
Also, did that give you, because you've already alluded to the fact you kind of an alternative style anyway, so were your boys used to a certain London style? Bro, you know what I mean? They were like, this ain't that.
That's
like,
exactly what it was.
It's probably a good thing.
You know what I mean? Because I was doing stuff like, we were testing out auto-tune and shit like that. Like before, like it was proper like,
popping.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, and obviously at that time, I didn't really know what I was doing, but it was just creating. Do you know what I mean? Let's just go.
Yeah.
So, you know, obviously it was just hitting the ears weird and they weren't used to it, but obviously now look. You know what I mean? You know, and now that like probably auto-tune rap is probably like most, you know, it's listened to the most almost now, but now it's just like, bro, like I've gone back to the roots again. Now it's just hip hop, boom bap beats. You know what I mean? I'm writing, I'm
sick.
I'm finding myself, I'm more of a storyteller, do you know what I mean? I like to play with the words.
So what age were you when you came to uni up here? Because you followed a lass up here first, right?
Yes,
or did you go, well, I'm following her, I may as well enroll in uni as well? Is that the thought?
It was literally like that, bro. Like one of them ones, you know, got into Beckett, like, you know, through clearing.
Nice, doing music technology?
Yeah, music tech first, and then I went into production.
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I met so many people. I don't even know if you know Salem Focus.
I do, drum and bass, legend.
I went to uni with him. Like,
man, same year and that. Oh, man, that's cool.
You know, because of him, I literally met my engineer who I work with now.
Who's that?
Like, constantly. PRCL Productions. But
right,
he lives down south.
Yeah.
He moved out of Leeds, but literally we've got our next tape coming out in a few months. Calm and Casual. Yeah, man, it's just mad. Since I came up here, bro, like, it's, you know, like, I'm not gonna lie, like, yeah, Leeds is definitely, I think it's the place where TJ was born, really.
Really?
You know?
What, were you TjTucker on the SoundCloud days? With the first time, so you was, I assume that's just your name.
Yeah, no.
Are you not called
that's
Thomas James Tucker?
That's my like Superman. The Clark Kent is
And what is your real name?
Tony.
Oh, okay. So there is a T. Is there a J?
Yeah. No.
Is there a Tucker?
No.
Where's the Tucker? Where's the J and the Tucker come from?
That's just me fucking with cartoons. Like, I mean, it just sounds like a cool kind of.
It does.
You know what I mean, yeah. I don't even know how I came about.
I like it, man. I assumed, bro, you were just like, I'm obviously not Thomas James Tucker, but I just assumed that was your name and you were going with it. But actually, only the T's legit, and then the rest is. It's a sick name. It sounds good. And you drop the J as a non-capital. Is there a thought process behind that? It just looks cool.
Style choice. It looks cool, no? You know what I'm saying? Like,
man, I dropped the X in mine, man. I get it. Yeah, I get it. That's sick.
Yeah, man.
So how many years at Beckett then? 2, 3?
4.
4 years. Nice.
Yeah.
And you met people like Salem Focus. I know for a fact you met Finn, who was in a year above, and you ended up working on a project on a random sort of thing.
Yo, the way that came about was nuts. So all I wanted to do was get in the studios. like that was my main thing. And as soon as I saw, oh, right, they got these studios here, like I'm trying to get in there, I'm trying to record.
Yeah.
But at first, you can't really book. You know, they don't really have that freedom.
Nah.
So I used to just kind of like skulk around, like, you know, like,
looking for opportunities.
Legit, like,
you need a rapper.
you know what I mean? Whenever like literally like Finn's year, like the third years, whenever they were having their lessons, usually there'd be like a studio or 2, 3. So like I'll just kind of like chill around, sneak in,
looking for opportunities.
you know what I mean? Do my thing.
I love that though. That's how you get work, isn't it, man?
Legit.
Like, yeah.
I heard them and I was like, yo, okay, cool. Can we work? Like, what's happening? Obviously, like gave me the time, and then we just like the bond just grew, man. And like we've got 2 songs. We've got more songs together that aren't actually out.
Oh, really? There's some in the works.
Yeah, Manifest and the Get Back.
I love the Manifest, man. That's such a beautiful tune. That's like right down the line of my soul kind of, listenership, man. I just love the sound of it. Because that's the thing with you, bro. You don't box yourself in, I'd say, to like just a grime or a trap or a whatever. You do seem to just like, if you were like, oh, I've got a song out next week, I wouldn't have a clue what it was going to sound like before I heard it, which is a massive compliment, I'd say, rather than you boxed in. Like, what influences that, bro? Is it just like feel? You just go from sound and feel, or
legit just doing what the beat's telling me?
Nice.
You know, because obviously, like, bro, you're an artist, man. Do you know what I mean? Like, we go into these phases and different modes. You know, sometimes, like, my emotions are, like, I'm feeling them, like, in a certain way, so I need a certain type of, sound. Or sometimes I'm feeling myself and, like, I don't care about saying anything, like, like, impactful or meaningful. I just want to feel good, and I want to make you feel good. Feel how I feel right now.
Yeah.
Or sometimes I might be waved, and it's just, it's just something else coming in. So it's just how I feel at the time, bro.
At the time, sick. So were you living in Leeds when you were at Beckett, or?
Yeah.
Nice.
Burley, Headingley, yeah.
Too sick. And what was the, because obviously you came up and like no one had heard of you.
Yeah.
And now we're at a point where you're one of the more recognised names in the scene, I'd say. What were the steps to get? What were the steps to get there? Was it just like meeting dudes like Salem and Finn and sort of working, or what?
It was, man. It's crazy you ask this question, man. Because like a lot of my boys actually tell me, bro, you need to look back a lot more. Because like there's so much that's been going on and that you've done, man. Like just well done.
Are you always looking to the next, to the next, to the next?
Sometimes it's difficult to like, because I'm like, all right, cool, yeah, that happened, but what's next? What are we doing?
Mate, I talk about a lot of. I think that is embedded in the spirit of most artists.
Yeah.
It's just like, yeah, but what's the next thing? Yeah, I did that, but what's the next thing? And like, it can mess you up mental health wise, but it's also a positive thing for your output, innit? Because it's like you can't be getting all. I don't know whether you're a football fan, but I always remember that. I'm not a Man U fan either, but there was an Alex Ferguson quote. As soon as Alex Ferguson won like the treble, Champions League, Premier League, he'd done the lot. And he went into the staff room afterwards or whatever and was like, right, how are we going to do it again? And you're like, bro, are you not going to just ruminate on the fact that you just won the whole thing? Nah, it's not about that. And I I there is an artist, you come off stage, smash the gig, sick. What's the next big thing? You know what I mean? Like,
bro, like that's how it is. So, back to it, like the process was cool. I was meeting, guys like Salem and that through the course, having little sessions with them, linking up with them. And then I started, there was this night that used to happen, the LS6 Cafe.
What was that
closed
called?
Now.
I think I know a few heads that went through LS6 Cafe.
Peculiar
Dialects. Was it that, right?
Now PD the Saint. So many guys. That's where I met Scott Free.
Sick.
Scott Free came through there. Bro, so many, man. Like I'll say everyone that is active in the scene right now
who's
and moving,
on that?
bro, like we all met each other there, man.
So you're all chopping it up there. That's cool.
Legit.
And what was it? Open mic sort of style?
Open mic vibe, like last Sunday of every month.
Yeah.
Like used to go down, and like that spot was literally like, for me in my head it was almost like a battleground. Do you know what I mean?
Sharpening
steel. You're watching like guys come with different sets. You're watching how this man performs, how these guys perform, how he does his thing. Do you know what I mean? Like how they look. What's that vibe? You know what I mean? You're seeing guys come through by themselves on their ones. Some guys come through with a team, and you see like how that impacts the night differently.
Totally.
So it was just a lot of learning, man. And like so I was just soaking all of that in.
Sick.
And it was mad too because obviously I'm I'm coming up. I don't sound like I'm from the north. I don't, you know what I mean? And everyone took me in like from that first one, and it just.
Mate, amazing.
Yeah.
Were there a lot of collabs that came off the back of that? Working with people on that?
Factual, man. Like, you know, collabs, videos, you know, just, bro, you know what, yeah? So much love to Blackson as well. I met him there.
Right.
And then through us just like linking up, doing more things together, he ended up, this was 2019, he was doing a gig back in Verona, you know, back where he's from.
Yeah.
Bro, he called me and my boy out to go out there with him.
Took you out to Verona, didn't
And
he?
that was my first international show.
Well,
yeah. Are you mad?
That's dope. That's so sick. Just off the back of putting yourself about and like being sick as well, which always helps, man.
Thank you, bro. Like it's all of that. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, and then just sticking with it. I think even when the times were tough and like feeling like, because obviously, you know, there's the love you get from like, you know, the locals and the peers right here, but then obviously, you know, then look at like levels as well, and you're like, cool, there's all these different factions up here, like Launchpad and, you know, these things, you know.
Of course.
And, you know, you look at how can I get, you know, supported, you know, through these avenues as well. And those aren't always the easiest, you know, because they don't really understand
the broader thing of it. Yeah, I get you. And you're almost like, because you're on about, you said Launchpad specifically, and other people, I know exactly what you mean by that. And there's a way of talking to those guys or appealing to those guys which is like more beneficial for you. And I know people who sort of exploit that. It's clever, but it's like, and sometimes you end up with the artists that are promoted, and not necessarily just Launchpad this, but the artists that are promoted, you're just like, oh, right, okay, they're getting some light, but like, what about the, but it's like a lot of people, I think there is a thing with hip hop where it's like, I'm making my shit, and that's cool. And then you don't necessarily reach out of that to tell, well, see if we can do it with these guys, see if we can do it with this company.
But why not, though? Do you get me? Like, if we're talking about expanding and growing, like, bro, there's so much happening.
Yeah.
Even in Wakefield, like, literally on this Friday, I just had a gig at this new pizza shop, Subs and Suds, right?
Yeah.
I've lived in Wakey 5 years now. Bro, there's not been a rap night like that that I've been to.
There hasn't,
you know
man.
I mean? And I'm not bigging myself up.
No,
but I'm saying like Cloudy Late supported that gig.
Yeah.
You know, other Wakey legend, bro. Like, and it's just the guys were there, and the rappers are here, the music is here. Like, there's so much going on,
mate. And we've been saying for years, like other places in because Leeds has always had something. There's always been a little bit of something, even if like we haven't been collaboratively, you know, like community or whatever. So there's always been some hip hop stuff because people come into town and famous artists come into town. But the sort of Bradfords, Wakeys, Huddersfields, while there's some stuff going on, you're like, there should be more. And when I saw that gig that you guys were putting on at Wakey and seeing like people like Cloudy Lake were going to be there, and I know Dreamcatcher's out there at the moment and stuff, and it's like Wakey's got a nice little scene going, man. So sick. And honestly, there was like 3 hip hop gigs I was promoting them, just being like, yo, there's one in Wakey, there's one in Leeds, there's one in Hoods on the same night, all hip hop, and it's such a good thing for the area. I mean, it's a bit shit that they're all on the same night because we could be spreading out, but that's how they land sometimes, isn't it? But yeah, you're right. When was the last hip hop night in Wakey that was like going off? But there's obviously interest, right?
But you know what? The strangest thing is, and you know what? This is mad. Like, I'm not trying to like cause no static or nothing like that, but we have to be real and say it. You know, like, cool, in Wakey now, there's Towel Yard that's there, you know, which is great. Like, there's so much more things coming in.
Right.
But I'm saying, like, you know, I hope they're looking at the scene as a whole, you know, and not just like, you know, like certain genres specific, you know, like, bro, like there's, and it's amazing too, because like, bro, when you look at the artists and stuff, we're all doing this ourselves. Do you know what I mean? Like the way you do this podcast, like what?
It's all,
you know?
Out of a backpack, you know what I
saying?
mean?
You know,
Exactly.
Got, like, what?
Everything's like makeshift in it, and we're just making it work, innit? It's not like we got money behind it. Or
you have to
like,
respect it.
Yeah, fully.
You have to respect it. You know, like we don't, you know, there's no like trust funds, do you know what I mean? There's no, do you know what I mean? Like we're really putting the money that we're like working for, doing the 9 to 5s and putting it right back in out, and that's it. And like, you have to respect it, man.
Fully. A good night's merchandise selling at gigs is still not enough to like put down on your house. Nah. Do you know what I mean? Like I had a really successful gig the other day, like 3 weeks ago, and it was like, wow, that was such a great merch turnout. And you're like, but this ain't gonna touch the base. You know what I mean? You gotta, and that's a good day. You know, most of the time you're like just about cutting even to graft at your own thing, but it's the love that we do it in it. Man. It's for the love, man. And I love to see you guys building at Wakey like you do. So, you said you've been in Wakey for 5 years. Was it a kind of, because there was a build of music coming from that like
those first releases on SoundCloud, and then up till 2019, and then we got to 2020 and lockdown and stuff, and there was a couple of releases for you that were kind of lockdown, even named. You know what I mean? Did you move to Wakey at that point, and then sort of
legit? So literally during that lockdown, tenancy at the house was up.
Yep.
And then moved into Wakey. I actually moved back in with my mum for a little bit.
Was she in Wakefield?
Moved up. Yeah, she moved up.
Very nice.
So the whole unit just came up.
Sick.
Literally.
To follow your career, yeah?
Follow me, man, in some way. But it was mad. And then so that time the music you're talking about is Care Pack.
That's right.
Yeah, the Care Pack EP. Jeez, yes.
Yeah, boy, I'm doing my homework.
Yes. And that was fun. I made that. I'm like I said earlier. I'm very I think I'm really in tune with myself and my spirit type thing. You know, that's where all this music comes from. Yeah. So at that time, I was going through a lot of stuff, mental health wise. Literally, there's a song on there called Backwards. I've redone, rewrote, and it's coming out again soon. But that song was literally all about I'm literally last year at uni right now. Things are just mad. You know, home life is broken down a little bit. Yeah. I don't know where I'm at mentally. I feel like ending things. Do you know what I mean? I feel I'm at the end point right now. A
familiar story, man, as an artist
as
well.
Know what I mean?
Yeah,
you know, too typical, you know. But that song was then the second verse of it was me coming out of that, and it's no, there's things I want to live for.
Dope.
There's a lot I'm trying to. So that whole EP, that's why it's called Care Pack, because it was I know I'm going through a lot, but it's not just me.
Yeah.
I mean, there's other people that are going to be feeling how I'm feeling or going through certain things. Yo, G, don't sting me. But yeah, you know what I mean? So that's why I put that out and did that, project there. And that was nice. Having that come out in lockdown.
Did you get a good feedback from the stuff that you were putting down in lockdown? Because I sort of feel like that was around the time when I started hearing about you first. I think man. People were sharing your stuff.
That's
and that.
hard.
Yeah,
that's cool. That's sick.
Yeah. I can't remember. It'll just be someone around the way, but people like Chills who were just mega plugged in and just be sharing it. I'll be like, oh shit.
Oh yeah. Chill Smith he's been showing love for him.
Yeah. I say this all the time. All roads leads to Chill Smith, man. He's just in a really positive way, just connects everyone together and everyone can get a beat off him and it'll just be sick. You know what I mean?
Factual.
Good shit, man.
Yeah, no, it was good, man. There was good traction coming off that. And even from there, that's where I started having more features. So that's when around that time I linked up with Scott Free for the first time. Yeah. Just signed with him. I linked up with Joe Garrett. He was a different Leeds artist, completely different genre, different sound. Yeah. You know what I mean? But it works. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's starting to just make sense.
Occasionally I'll see someone on Instagram, just be some random musician or whatever. I'll just be like, oh, who's this guy? Check him out. And nearly always it's follows TjTucker or you know what I mean? It's always how the fuck do you and this guy and that guy and this guy as well. I did a jam session a while ago now with a couple of dudes from who'd come through Elcon, I think. Ash Florian.
Yes.
That's your boy.
Legend
and Seth
no
as well.
Yes,
I think you know that guy too.
Yes.
Maybe Dia on drums.
Dia.
There you go.
Man. Good people.
Yeah,
man.
and I was like, they all know TjTucker, but no one else knows who they are.
Plugged in, man.
You are, man. What are your because they're Elcon dudes. Yeah. Did you? So it's not you through Beckett that you know them. Was it just you out in town or?
So honestly, yeah, it's been a web, fam. It's been ridiculous. So when I was kind of finishing at Beckett, I linked up with there was someone through a mutual. I linked up with this dude, Louis Velcott. He runs Tone Central.
Oh, right, Tone Central. That's sick.
Yeah,
in fact, you've got a feature on that album.
Yes.
That album's crazy, man. Yeah. So many dope bits on that.
Isn't it? What?
Too sick. Yeah.
Yeah, man. So I met up with him first, man. And he that's my boy. He helped me film some of the Care Pack 2 stuff. I had a promo for that. And then, so through him, I met Ash. So, Tone, he was my DJ at the time. He was my DJ. We're doing shows, going down to London, doing stuff. But then he was then moving down south and I was staying up here. Yeah. So, obviously, we needed a replacement, we needed, So, he linked me up with his boy Ash, Ash Florian. Yep. Sick guy,
Sick producer, innit?
Yeah, man. Really, really dope guy, man. And he's very, he's proper, he's always working, and he wants to make things happen, you know what I mean? Yeah. So started doing stuff with him. I was always telling him, bro, like I want to work with musicians, I want to work with like some session guys, like I really love live instruments.
Yeah.
Like I was always like, because I know my style, like when you match me up with some live instruments, man, it's just game. Let me just, So obviously he's from Elcom. He knows a bunch.
Nice.
So when around the time I met Ash, I also met Curtis Samuel. He plays keys in the band.
Legends with No Name.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I knew of him like also through Lou, but like for a while. But we never really worked. It was always like that conversation. We should do something.
Yeah.
Ash then told him, bro, like we're trying to start a band. What do you think? So then we played together the first time at Hyde Park Book Club. There was Salamango Jazz Fest. That goes down there sometimes.
Was that like, was it just an open set, or did you guys know that you were going to all play together?
No, I knew I was going to play with them. Like, I started like kind of doing some rehearsals with them, and, just like getting with them. That was my first time working with like instruments.
Did they pre-exist as a group of musicians together, or did you kind of bring them together through Ash and that?
Yeah, basically me and Ash like just put it all together.
Beautiful.
So and it all just like, it was almost like it was like a jigsaw, because like after Ash, Curtis, the next was Eddie. Like Eddie Holland, who plays bass.
Dope.
And we met at so I supported Coops at Belgrave.
Yep.
Which was
huge.
A dope night.
With the band as well?
No.
Right.
It was.
They don't give you a lot of space in Belgrave. You've got this little corner here. Don't touch the rest of it.
Bro, and that shit was so fun. Like I learned a lot from Coops from that night. Like for sure. But anyway, after that, like literally Eddie like came through backstage, was like, yeah, I play bass, and I'm like, yeah, man, let's meet, let's do some stuff. So I got him down, and then I linked up with Luna, who's the guitarist, through a session he was having at Ash's place, and I just went through there one time. I saw them, and I was like, wait a minute, man, who are you?
This is the guy.
Let me get your number, man. Like, come through. Got that down, and then for a while we didn't have a drummer, so we played our first gig last year. January last year, So Far Sounds.
Oh, sick. Did So Far you was your first gig?
Yeah, man,
how'd you hook that up? Because that...
Bro. Listen, man, the thing, always looking for it. Like, I'm always like, a lot of these pages, they'll have the website, you go find the website, most likely you're gonna find a link, submission link, or or the email. I'm on LinkedIn all day as well, man.
Are you LinkedIn? Yeah.
A lot of these.
Is LinkedIn working for you? I've never touched LinkedIn,
Bro, they're on there, man. All these the festival bookers and stuff like that, you can find them.
They're
on there. You just a little conversation here and there, like, because it's just you never know where you're gonna find or where someone's gonna find you. I never know what
platform to do, so I end up getting like almost paralysis by analysis of it, and I'm just like, forget it. I won't do any of it. I'll post a story on Instagram occasionally. That's it. But
bro, but it's like you never it's people are everywhere.
Fully.
Like, do you know what I mean? And I think that something that helps me and like with just the marketing stuff and all the Instagram stuff, like all the socials, is like I just look at like things like Coke, and Pepsi, and stuff like that, and I'm like, these big brands and that, man, you see them like from the morning
all the time. You know what Coke is. Go and drink it if you need a Coke or whatever. But that doesn't stop there being constant adverts for it.
What I'm saying?
And that is the truth of the matter is you need to be in people's constant vision the whole time.
Yeah, and obviously not just doing nonsense and faff, but like if it makes sense and that, and it's like you believe in what you're doing.
Yeah.
We believe in this music.
Yeah.
Yo, listen to this. Yo, have you seen how people react to this? Like,
full respect to you, and as well, Tone Central did. So Tone Central, I saw did some when he had his album out, was like doing listen to this and like his face in the thing and referring to stuff, and I seen you do something which was actually really impactful of like your day, going to the gig, going to the studio or what have you, and it was just like little snippets. And I thought, man, that unless you've got some app, I was like, that's work. Because it's like all like chopping and making sure it's all good and edited together. I'm like, man, it's a lot of content, but it looks dope. Like, and obviously keeps people like, on the journey with you. Like, was that the thought behind doing that?
Literally, that's it. Like, with it all, like, even with TikTok, like, to be fair, love to Percy Bones as well. Like, he's, I've known him for a minute now.
Is it? Yeah?
And yeah, man.
When did you get to know Percy Bones? I don't know him too well.
The wildest fucking, some of my tattoos, right? Like, when, this is like, when I was in second year of uni, I met this guy, Chibi, like, from Bradford.
Oh, right.
And he did the tats, at his spot, and so he lived with Percy, at the time. So obviously that's when I just met him through like, you know, getting my tats done and then
Dope.
and then obviously he was like, yeah, man, I make music, you know, I rap, but it's different. It's like, you
It's
know,
alternative with a capital alternative in it.
For real, like I'm never gonna try to scream.
yeah, because it does, and it does blur the line between metal in some ways and that kind of, you know, hard rock shit.
Like sick guy, man. He's doing so much, like going out to America, all that stuff. Like, incredible.
Doing,
you know?
What is it? The Insane Clown Posse hookup and stuff, which is just a massive festival, isn't it? Like,
and so he's big on like the TikTok situation, and he was telling me like, bro, like a lot of the stuff you do, you know, because I want to talk. I like talking, you know, like I love shit like this, like the podcast, and you know, I don't know if I can swear and that.
Yeah, we're good for that. As long as you're the first to do it, I'm happy.
Cool. It's downhill from here. But like, like, you know, he was just telling me, bro, like, man, like Instagram, that's a vanity project. You know what I mean?
Interesting.
You know, it's very face value. You know, people are just take it to TikTok. You know, that deeper stuff. You know, do more things like that.
Interesting.
When I started doing that and like doing more things there, I started then connecting with so many more people.
Really?
Like honestly,
you found on TikTok that was the best way.
I never respected TikTok.
No, me neither. Because I've got a Jammer Tony TikTok. I ain't got anything but like for a bit of content, and it just seems like talking of vanity. You kind of chuck it out there. It gets a number of views. You're like, that's a fucking great number of views. I'm really happy with that. But I don't know whether it adds to my listenership. No one buys anything extra. Not that I'm like plugging it, but I didn't really see much from it.
Yeah, sometimes you don't know, like, because on TikTok, it can be like that too, but I've seen that, like, you know what, when people, I feel like on there, it feels a bit like, do you remember like when we, like Dat Piff?
Yeah, of
and
course.
like early SoundCloud days, you know, like music discovery. I feel like that's where those people are at now.
Right, okay,
you know?
so they're all sat on there.
Yeah.
And you're finding some good uptake in your music as a result.
Yeah, man, there's people that, you know, go find my YouTube from there, you know. There's people that's been...
that's what you want.
Last year, we played with the Legends. We played Clarence Park.
Oh, yeah.
Clarence Park Fest in Wakey. And there was a bunch of, like, kids there. They got me on TikTok and then started, like, getting at me on YouTube. And I was like, where are these guys coming from? Like... Yeah.
From that situation, man.
Yeah.
Sick. So Percy Bones kind of put you onto that in the first instance. So mad respect to him.
Love
Fair
Percy.
play, man. Just dudes in meat, innit?
Yeah,
Coming back to Legends with No Name then. So that was a project that started, you say, last year to the beginning of 24?
Yeah, really and truly, yeah.
Man, that feels like that's been going a lot longer than that, considering
it feels
man,
like
for what you've achieved and what you've already been like gigging and stuff like that. Is that one of your main focuses then? Like if someone hollers you and they want to get a gig, I mean, obviously Friday aside, but well, indeed, did you get control of that gig on Friday? Was that kind of your gig? What was your thinking in going, this is a TjTucker solo show rather than let's get the band in? Or was it because of the venue? Or
You're trying to start some beef right now.
I am trying to start some beef. Why are you get the band in, bro? What about the guitarist?
They know why. Nah. Honestly, like, you know what, yeah, it's like, it's so cool. It's sick that, like, I can give it to you in so many different ways now.
Yeah.
Like, I could either just solo, just me. I could come with, sometimes we even do gigs where it's me, Luna, you know, the guitarist, or me and Sam, you know what I mean, coming through, and it's just that. Or then you can have the full band. So it's like, and as well, we've got, at the minute, like we've got, the next headline with the band is going to be April 27th at Wolf Chambers, right?
Oof, nice.
So
headline as well.
Do you know what I mean? So it's like, I could give you the whole meal right now, or I could just let you, like, just get us in small doses.
Interesting.
Do you know what I mean? At first, let it build up.
I only had Blackson on the podcast the other day. I know you were bigging him up before. Like, he was talking about scarcity as like a really important factor of it. Like, if you give everyone everything all at once, they'll just be like, yeah, whatever. But if you can sort of give them bits and pieces of it. So that's, if you can plan that out real nicely, it's super intelligent. Like.
You come see me, like, on Friday, you know, you see me and my DJ, it's Ash. But also, you know, Ash also, he's a sampler for the band.
Yeah.
And then also, that band, we're playing a gig together pretty soon.
Yeah.
You know, April 27th, come see us. Like, well, we've got this next gig in Sheffield, April 4th.
Sheffield as well,
you know, it's going to be me and Ash again, but there might be one of the legends there this time. Who knows, you know? And then it's just like, it's fun, you know. You never know what might happen.
And in terms of like a set, because when I've worked with live bands and stuff, usually you're like, okay, you know how to do this bit, you know how to do that. Can there just like guys plug and play and just like, I know this song, We're Away, or only works with drums, or?
Bro, respect to them, because like,
So they're just dope and they'll work with it.
These guys, like Elcom, I don't know what's in the waters over there, fam. Like,
I get you.
like, yeah, they're sharp with it. You know, like when we get to rehearsals at first, because obviously, you know, me being in Wakey, you know, they all live in Leeds, you know, but we're pretty spread out. They all play for other bands as well.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So they're learning a bunch of songs all the time. You know, we're getting together sometimes at awkward times. You know, sometimes we can't have full sessions. You know, but we just make it work. We make it happen.
Yeah,
you know? And then
yeah.
it just, you know, like that's obviously the vibe is there. You know, and that's what works. But the skill.
Yeah.
You know, they're great, man.
Sick.
Like,
Sick. So do you see yourself sticking in Wakey and trying to build that a bit, or do you see yourself ending up in Leeds, or are you just going to be like back and forth?
Man, like I'm where the love is. Like, do you get me? Like I'm where the love is. Not saying I'm just like going everywhere about. No, like my home is in Wakey. I'm living there.
Yeah.
I'm there. Do you know what I mean? If you want to find me, come out there.
Come Wakey.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
Have you got links back? Because you said you'd done some gigs down London.
Yeah.
So have you got links back there where you can just sort out sets and stuff? Or?
I do have links down south. I do. You know, there's a few people like Kid Saini, like I mentioned, he lives down south. You know, there's a lot of other people as well. But it's like at the minute, you know, I haven't been. I think my last gig in London was probably about like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So you know, we're gonna have to like
You got to get some things moving down there as much, but still, I mean, it's...
Because you know, one of the main reasons as well, when I finished uni, a lot of my boys were like, "Oh man, why don't you come down south, man? Come back that like it's London, like it's where music is.
Yeah,
you know, everything's here, the labels, all that stuff."
Yeah.
But I'm like, one, I'm not chasing those same things.
Fully.
You know, for starters. Two, why would I go somewhere where it's already saturated?
Word.
And there's so much happening.
Create something unique.
Do you know what I mean?
Love to hear that.
Go somewhere and just make it pop, make it happen, and make people look up here. Do you know what I mean?
Ah, mate, you are speaking my language. This is what I'm talking about. Because we need to build the infrastructure up here, man. We need to create that here, the community, and people go, oh shit, my dream is like, anywhere in the country you go, people are like, oh, you're a fucking West Yorkshire rapper. Shit, it's all popping off up there.
Yeah,
I'm like, damn right it is,
You know
man.
what
Got
I
the
mean?
gigs, got the artists, got the fucking studios, you know what I mean?
And at the gigs, people aren't scared to have a good time.
100%,
That's the truth.
Yeah. Nice, man.
Yeah.
What is that you were like, you're not trying to do the same thing as what's going on down there. What is that? What have you got goals and like things you want to achieve beyond like putting
100%.
fucking loads of dope music out? What's
100%.
what's the thinking?
You know, like honestly, it's, you know, very much like, you know, like what you're saying, like building something very real and then just everything opening up. So what me and my family are kind of doing is we've got this project we're working on called Heroes Never Die.
Say that again.
Heroes Never Die.
Heroes Never Die.
Yeah, for short, HND. You'll hear me talking about it at my shows.
TjTucker HND. I've
TJ
seen
Tucker
it on there.
HND.
I was going to ask you what the HND was. Heroes Never Die,
that's
right?
Heroes Never Die. Heroes Never Die. At the minute, it's I don't want to call it a label right now. At the minute, it's a creative foundation. You know.
Yep.
I want to grow it into a label. I want to grow into, right now, it's really and truly it's an umbrella for all like just the creative production work.
Okay.
Because it's not just music. I'm a podcast producer.
Oh, sick.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah, so I've got my podcast, Irrelevant Rambling. That's on pause for a minute.
Is it? I
So
don't think I've seen any of that. Have you had some of that out
Oh,
already?
I'll send you some links,
Please
bro.
do. Who have you had on that? Is it just Dude You Know? Or?
So the only one of the main interviews I got is with 26.
Oh, yeah,
26.
the producer.
Yeah,
Sick
man.
producer.
Everybody was hit. I was supposed to do one with Finn. I was supposed to do one with Scott Free.
Yeah.
But then I had to pause it, man, because I was like, you know what? I can't focus on this and the music at the same time. I couldn't do it.
It's
bro.
a balance. It is a juggle. It depends
So-
where your head is. Like I have different heads on at different times. Sometimes I'm like just production, just rapping, just whatever. But I've got a bit of the community head on right now, so I'm just like, let's just
So now
podcast the
you're
fuck
doing
out of
this,
it.
you know?
Yeah. But if you're not in that place, man, it makes sense. Like,
You get me?
yeah.
So it's a house for the podcasting. It's a house for like anything I do with the music, you know, any features, you know, like anything like that, you know, any even voiceover work as well that I do. Like, do you know what I
you
mean?
done that, yeah?
So just outside of like, cause like this is the thing, bro, like we're artists, like there's so much, music is just one pillar that
Fully.
we've got.
I agree
Do you know what
with
I mean?
that.
If we're trying to really talk about like making this, being here for a long time, not just a good time, you know, like it has to make sense.
Of course.
You know, and like, there's so much that we can offer. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, guys like, you know, like, I know I'm bigging up so many other people.
I want to
like,
hear
in
that.
this part. You
That's
know,
good.
guys like Scott, like, bro, he's got all these artworks that he does. You know what I mean? He puts them out on the Bandcamp.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Then he offers services like that to people.
Yeah.
You know, he's doing engineering for people, you know, opening his house up, like coming, you know, to the
Yeah,
studio. So
yeah.
things like that. So it's like Heroes Never Die is like that ethos of doing that, you know? So like that's like the biggest goal I've got, you know, and then kind of like just transcending, like, you know, that just transcending music, man, and like just like it's just creation and inspiring through that.
I love that, man.
Like that's it. And you know, again, like as well, I'll say this so you understand, like Heroes Never Die. The reason why it's called that, so my older sister that I told you about.
Yeah,
you know,
got you into kind of music in the first.
You know, she passed away when I was.
I'm sorry to hear that.
So I took it to a high and then just brought it
Nah,
down.
man,
But
fair.
she passed away when I was like, you know, in school, like pretty early on.
Right.
And but she taught me how to read lyrics. She taught me how to, you know, literally like Dizzy Rascal Come Dance With Me. That was like the first song I knew how to like spit like properly.
Nice.
You know, like, you know, so me doing this is also a way of me keeping that spirit alive. Do you know what I mean? And that energy
Nice.
alive. And you know, it's like it really did inspire me, man. Because if you look at heroes, I know it's kind of weird, but you know, cool. Like comic heroes, right? They never die. Do you know what I mean? Even people, real life people that have been heroes, right? Like Stan Lee, you know, like what Michael Jackson, Mac Miller to some people.
They'll be in the public domain forever and
They're-
evermore. Like, yeah.
Dude, they are not going away. You know, even when we play their music, when we think about these people, you know, relatives that passed away,
Yeah.
they, as soon as they're in that, as soon as you think about them, as soon as you
Still
play,
alive.
bro, they're right there.
The legacy continues, sort of thing.
You know what I mean? So that's what it is. That's what it's about.
So it's an important thing to keep a sort of
Yeah,
memory going as well at the same
and
time.
Just making timeless work, man. Doing timeless things. Like, that's it.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Damn. So you would include Legends with No Name under that bracket as well as your
Yeah,
own. So
bro.
is there any other artists that aren't you, sort of thing, that you've been bringing through? Or
You know what? Not any rappers or anything like that. But you know, there's Digital Cash,
Okay.
he produces.
Ah.
So that's so a lot of the music that you heard from me on Spotify.
Yeah, he's done the beats for.
That's him. And he's my brother. That's my brother.
Literally
as
your
well.
brother?
Yeah, literally.
Oh, sick.
You know, yeah.
Nice.
You know, like
Family affair, man. That's
yeah.
dope.
literally, man. Keep it tight knit.
Yeah, fully.
You know, so yeah, he's he's a house producer for HND, Purcell Productions as well. He's literally close collaborator with it. But yeah, man, right now, like I don't think it's like the right time even to talk about getting artists on, and because I'll need to understand how to really get them to a spot first.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Only way I can do that is get myself there first.
Yeah, if you're a massive name, it's the old Eminem thing of just like, well, you'll get to a massive name and then you're pulling your boys up with you, and I think like you're sort of reaching back for them, and I think there's an opportunity to do that. But because you get some people sometimes who are like, I'm setting up a label, and it's like, bro, you aren't even.
There's a lot more.
You aren't even doing anything like yourself. You aren't gonna then be able to get these guys up, man. Like
that's one thing I've learned, like in the time I've been doing this, bro, so far. Like it's planning and knowing what you actually want, man, and just like not just running and gunning. Like there's a lot to learn.
Yeah.
Like put yourself in the environments and the spaces to learn that shit, and go for it.
Yeah, love that, man. Love that. Man, I feel like I've covered everything with you, bro.
Oi.
We've smashed through everything now, bro.
Oi.
Well, actually, I was going to say, community-wise
Yes.
and West Yorkshire-wise,
Yeah.
if we were, because it sounds like you're a builder like me. It's not about bouncing off to somewhere where they've got everything. You're wanting to like build up and create it here. What are the things that we're missing in your opinion, or what would you focus on if you had the resources in the area to like bring up out of interest?
Ooh.
Or when you came up, you were like, oh, we haven't got that here.
Ooh.
Tricky question.
That's a question.
Personally, like I
Yeah,
feel
what'd
like
you say?
gigs are still a hard push out here.
Yeah.
Like I've got one next month that we're trying to sell tickets for. It's specifically hip hop, and you already know I'm gonna have to like beg, steal, and borrow people just to fill that place out. And I feel there's like reaching. how to say this. A lot of people I know who are sensible and like good music have left the internet a long time ago. Not
Yes.
musicians. This is
Right,
punters.
right,
Because
right,
as
right,
artists
right.
and stuff, you don't have a choice. You have to be on LinkedIn or TikTok or whatever, just to be like pushing your music or whatever. Whereas reaching that guy over there who's well into hip hop,
Yeah.
but he's not on Instagram,
Yeah.
or maybe he is, but how we find him, like, and as a central point, I don't think there is in West Yorkshire where it's like all the hip hop heads go here or all the hip hop heads know about this.
Like
or,
a hub.
Yeah, a hub or a magazine or something.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I feel that's what I'm missing. Whereas I feel like if you need to know what's going on in hip hop in London, there's
Yeah.
probably ways and means much more than this, or at least radio shows or something.
Yeah.
Like I've been thinking about, there needs to be a West Yorkshire radio show, even an hour a week, BBC Radio Leeds, where that's just playing West Yorkshire hip hop or something. I don't know.
You know what? Shit, man, I'm gonna get in trouble.
Let's have it.
Because these are the things that I talk about this a lot. Like honestly, like behind closed doors and stuff. Because yes, I think there needs to be, like, I think the pillars of, like, let's say the industry here, right? It's like cool. Like, I mean, would you say like we're more underground?
Yeah, pretty much.
I think, like, bro, like, you know what's crazy? Like, all it would take is like any one of us, just one more level, bro. That underground shit is done. We're surface level.
True.
You know,
It's true.
and I feel like the thing that makes us like under there like that is that the pillars that, you know, the industry up here, they don't. It's almost like they don't even care to look in.
Nah.
You know, it's almost like they're
Yeah.
too prim and proper for it or something.
I get you.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
It's a bit dirty. It's dirty and raw and rugged.
You
Like,
know?
and people, venues are certainly scared of hip hop.
yeah.
A lot of them are because of
They
like.
shouldn't be, because that's the
course.
real, like, bro, that's like, it's weird that they are like that, man, because it's like, bro, it's like one of the most popular genres,
Word.
you know, like
Yeah.
around the world, man. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
And like, if you're talking about even making money, you know, if we're like, you know, making money for the council and all of that stuff, do you know how much money, like, you know, rap would make if you just, even if you made the gigs more like accessible?
Yeah.
You know, like you said, bro, like what Radio Leeds, maybe, you know, they do need, like, you know, a show that's just hip hop based.
Yeah.
You know, just like, you know, alternative based. So maybe it's not just hip hop and rap, it's like the punk stuff and all of that, but it's like, this is the alternative stuff.
I think there's a lot of groups and companies around that are like, I'm going to say music leads, but I don't necessarily even mean them. But like, there are certain groups who are like, call themselves music leads or, you know, Yorkshire music or whatever. And they've actually got some good funding, premises potentially. And the light always seems to be like on rock or whatever. And it's like, I'm like, I never, you know, it'd be, even if it's like you start the corner, you're like, oh shit, he's getting some light. And it's like, oh, TjTucker's getting some light through that. Wait, but it always seems like there's a blind eye to that. And you kind of rely on hip hop to bring hip hop up.
Bro, and I won't even lie to you. I won't even lie on some of those companies, right? Like they show me love, right? They put me on the playlist. You know, I've had gigs through them, right? And everything, which is great.
Yeah.
Like, cool. Like, I can see, like, there's you can support us.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
you can put us on. But it's almost like, okay, so why don't you tell us, like, what are you looking for? What are you looking at?
Yeah.
You know, what's the criteria here? You know, and like, why can't, like, even someone like yourself, you're doing like this like amazing community projects, yeah?
Big up.
So like, why can't they get in touch with you?
Well, yeah.
You know, if you're like, fam, you're the mascot for this, man. Like, you know, like all of us, do you get me? So it's like,
I'm surprised at this point. I thought by this point, there were, because of the amount of being shared by like 30 plus artists, at some point someone's going to come along and go, oh shit, or like the Yorkshire Evening Post is going to go, oh shit, the WY Cypher talking to West Yorkshire hip hop. But it seems like I'm going to get, what is going to happen, I'm going to get to 50 in like 10, 15 more episodes and go, right, I'll fucking knock some doors down. Because, do you know what I mean? There's light here, everyone is, everyone's sick, it's all different, and there's no, you know, the papers aren't talking about it, the radio's not talking about it, these companies that call themselves the music for the area aren't talking about it, and it's like this infrastructure needs to happen, man.
And even as well, like on another note, that's important to me, really. I think even supporting more, I think there's a lot of things that say, like, you know, we're very inclusive, you know, and all of this, but man, you know, like, how many even like black artists are there around here? Do you know what I mean? But I don't see a lot of them.
Not
You know what
hundreds. I mean, I've said before on the podcast, it's like largely white male.
Do you get me?
Do you know what I mean?
You know, the only even, you know, the only like alternative, you know, even like Afro-Caribbean like radio station that I knew of, Sable Radio.
Oh, word.
Do you know what I mean? They were doing bits, they like Petrelli Purple, he's linked with them, like David with the one, sick guys, some really cool artists and that. But it's like, bro, sometimes I don't even see them. I know that's also on me too, to like be like, have my eye open and, find where my people are at.
Yep.
But like, damn, like,
yeah.
do you get me? Because we're here.
Yeah.
And I think that there needs to be more representation, like, when there's these like panels and stuff like that where they get these industry people in, and the people don't look like me.
No,
they don't make music like the music I listen to. So
it's always
like,
the way that when something like that gets organized, the person who gets asked to sort it isn't connected.
Yeah.
They're just like, oh, Jeff, can you sort this hip hop thing out? And they're like, yeah.
And
they
like,
just get ring back 3 people, and that's it.
And like, even as well, I think like one of the last things I think we need some more of as well, I think we need more things talking about mental health, bro. Like,
word.
Do you know what I mean? Honestly, man. Like,
I love that.
We need more of that. Like, even if it was like, like sessions or something like held where, you get, artists that do this thing that maybe like struggle with those things or, face those things. We can just talk.
Yeah.
And have a panel or something. It doesn't have to be a performance or anything like that.
Just to chill and talk and
Because let's not lie, it's like, what? Like, you're going through some mad shit, like, work might have been nuts. Or like, cool, you're spending like 8 hours of your day at this place. It's not even your passion. You got no time when you come home, but you want to write, you want to be in the studio or something like that, or you got a session, but also what, like, you got engagements with your family, someone's trying to see you, or maybe you got, a girl at home, and in that relationship, you got to give that time. But then, what about your passion as well? There's all these things, man.
Yeah.
Do you get me? Like,
it's a lot. Life's a lot, innit?
Do you get me? Some people might be writing to express, like, like other things, or dealing with, like, addictions and shit like that, man. And it's like, bro, and we're just all out here just pretending like everything's cool. And everything's okay. Like, yeah, man, I'm calm. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, new song coming out. Yeah.
But underneath the water, it's the old duck thing, calm on the top, under the water, you're like, paddling, innit? Like,
people don't talk enough.
Yeah, fully.
No, I think if it was more things like that, man, I think even the whole thing of like competition and competing sides, I think that will just get washed.
Yeah,
Because you see, like, we're more...
It's important that everyone knows each other and everyone's cool with each other, so they don't know. Because I think, especially social media and the vanity side of Instagram as well, bro. Like, people are like, fuck that guy, nah. You know what I mean? Like, and...
that guy, you're just saying, fuck him, he's going through the same shit you are right
100%.
now.
And he doesn't care about you, and he shouldn't, because he's got his own shit to deal with, innit? Like, and it's like, we should all just be like, your success should be my success, should be his success. We're just like, yeah, it's sick, doing it.
Literally, man.
Definitely,
100%, bro.
Sick. TjTucker, it's been a sick experience, man.
Could I say one more thing, fam?
Say it, brother.
I have to say it.
Do it.
Next EP, June 20th.
Oh, yeah, this will be out before then, so that's perfect. June 20th, what's it called?
Calm and Casual.
Calm and Casual.
I've got Transmuting, a new song called Transmuting coming out.
Yeah.
March 21st.
Yeah.
It'll probably be out already.
Yeah, that'll be out before this comes out. Yeah, so that's already out. What was that called again?
Transmuting.
So go and listen to that.
And it's got the music video out on YouTube as well. Shot by HND.
Oof.
Gang. Yeah, man. Next gig, April 4th in Sheffield.
Yeah.
After that, Legends with No Name headline, April 27th.
Okay, this might be out before the April 27th one, so we might get a sneak out on it.
Sick.
That'll be perfect.
Cool. Yeah, man, that's it, man. And like,
TjTucker, it's been sick as fuck. Thank you so much for coming through, man.
Yes, sir.
Big up. That was TjTucker. So sick to have him over in Leeds and have a quick chat. Go check his stuff. Go support him. Absolute legend. Until next time, big up.